Yeah, I think a big part of this game is, almost looking at the weaknesses of both players and how they're going to interact with each other. We know that Daxe can give the ball away occasionally when he's trying to play that possession game, and he can lose it in dangerous positions. But at the same time, he's so good when he goes forward, and those little passes make its way through to his strikers, to those wide players where he can create those opportunities in and around the box. On the other side of things, Megabit, fantastic going forward. Such a flowing player, creates lots of opportunities, but sometimes he can get caught out at the back a little bit. So it's going to be interesting if Megabit can nick that ball off of Daxe in those dangerous areas and put it to use.
I feel like Megabit really thrives against players that try and play possession-based football, though, because he does get aggressive, he does try and pressure up the pitch, and he will try and take advantage of those mistakes. And that's certainly what he is going to have to offer here. Now, he has been in this scenario before. I'll take you back to Bucharest when he got to a console final. It was LQE number 2. He lost to Tex in that console final. Tex is now out of the way. He's already taken him out of the competition. It's only Daxe who stands in his way of a cross-console final.
Well, here we go then. The Xbox Finals is underway. Who is going to be the best Xbox player here in London, the Gfinity Arena? 2 legs, of course, will be played in this final. And as you say, Dan, and you rightly remind everyone at home, the winner of this will move on to face Stefano Pina, who just took home that PS4 crown in our cross-console finals coming after this. But the first attack of the game is going to be going to the German Megabit here. And he's already in on goal. He's already found his way in, but of all players you want in that position, unfortunately, the one man he probably wouldn't pick outside of his goalkeeper is Sergio Ramos.
Would Kyle Walker have finished it? That's one thing. Not Kyle Walker on the desk. I'm talking about Kyle Walker, the foot item. That is the disadvantage of playing a centre-back at right-back. They do get into those aggressive positions. However, Ramos is the better choice than Varane because Ramos does have better shooting statistics, so he is more likely to score. But that is a fantastic opportunity opening up for Megabit. And he would have wished it was going to be maybe Mbappe or Ronaldo out on the right rather than Ramos. But still promising signs early on.
And he's done well to get possession back here. This is where the game's going to be won or lost, in my opinion. Daxe has got to play his game, keep possession of the ball, and Megabit has got to take his chances when they come. Marcelo's inside here. Varane gets back in, just dallied on the ball ever so slightly too long there. Didn't look for that killer pass, but look at the pressure that Megabit is applying here. He knows how Daxe wants to play, and he is tactically doing what he can to not let that happen.
Yeah, he wants to make Daxe shift his play style. He wants to force Daxe to play this kind of tiki-taka football, this back and forth, almost basketball-like game, which is really just going to flow into Megabit's favour as he gets possession again on this left-hand side, and he looks so dangerous, Mark.
He really, really does, and now Modric in that central area, and it's Sergio Ramos again, unfortunately guilty of missing that first chance for Megabit, who's going to be recycling the ball out to Marcelo now, and you can see him just creeping towards goal, tries to find that pass, but N'Golo Kante, he's a foot item who really did perform for Daxe last time. We saw him here on the broadcast. He does what he does best, and that's getting the ball back for the Frenchman.
Megabit certainly isn't a player who's scared to shoot as well. He has, coming into this game, he had 71 shots on goal so far this tournament. A conversion rate of 36% from shots to goals. Certainly someone who has been able to find the back of the net and find it successfully as well, even against the best players in the world. And he has really taken it to Daxe in these early stages.
Well, here is Daxe, and this is the thing about the Frenchman. He's always going to be prodding at your defence. He examines it. It's like a doctor trying to find any sort of weakness, any sort of opening he can try and expose to find a chance in front of goal. And it's all about concentration and holding your nerve in that situation, not diving into tackles in and around the box.
Maybe he's like one of those villains who takes the superhero's powers after he beats them. He takes down Dr. Ahano and then he becomes a doctor himself. And now he's trying to push that into his own gameplay. And now we are going to see Megabit moving forward here. Pass back and forth, and unfortunately, it's not quite enough.
Yeah, we got, unfortunately you say, but it was actually Hullet who was impeded on his way towards goal there, which is why he didn't get to it. The ball laid off to Neymar now, and Neymar absolutely smashes it in that far left-hand corner. First goal goes to Megabit, and he's deserved it, Dan.
And they are such dangerous areas with free kicks as well. It's just a simple layoff, and it's just a guessing game with that goalkeeper. It almost feels like a penalty in that situation sometimes. You have to guess, is it going to be finessed to the top corner? Is it going to be smashed in? Megabit opted for the latter, and he gets that goal lead. Now, leads are something we do need to talk about, especially 2-goal leads have been something that have been very weird in this tournament. Megabit even spoke about it in his interview. When these two played each other in the Swiss, Megabit went 2-0 up, but he threw that away. Daxe, in his semi-final, he went 2-0 up, but he threw that away and had to just fight back against these late goals. Can one of these players show some consistency and hold on to these leads?
Well, Daxe is in a position that he doesn't find himself in very often. Did that cross the line? It doesn't matter because it's in there now. And R9 Ronaldo answers back almost immediately for the Frenchman. Interesting to see if that ball went over the line to start with. It looked like it did to me, but it doesn't matter, as I say. Followed up by R9, not all of the ball across, and it means that PSG's Daxe ties up the game now 1-1.
I believe the first shot might have taken the slightest of deflections, which just caught the keeper off guard and allowed that ball to loop over and hit the bar. Megabit could just sit back and smile and just say, all right, well, I have to go again. He has been the one who's been generating most of the pressure from the get-go, so I don't think he'll be too disheartened with the goal. As he has mentioned in his interview as well, they've played each other a lot. They warmed up against each other today, and there's only ever been one goal on it in all of the games that they've faced off against each other.
So then, parity is restored here in our Xbox Grand Final. Good response from PSG's Daxe. And now Megabit just flowing forward once again. Modric into Ronaldo. Oh, unfortunately for Megabit, though, the finish was lacking. De Gea gets his body behind it. But both these players, we talk about how there hasn't been many goals between these two players when they were warming up, etc. But I mean, I'm expecting more goals. We've already had 2 in the first 30 or so minutes, but there's been so many chances to speak of.
But it's not necessarily there wasn't a lot of goals between them. It's more that there was only 1 goal difference between them. That could have been an 8-7 for all we know. We didn't get to see those practice games. But certainly going back and forth, there is going to be opportunities. It does look like Daxe is playing a little bit into Megabit's hands here because he is going forward. He is trying to get the pressure up high on the pitch. And now Megabit is looking to try and intercept that ball early and catch him on the counter-attack.
Here is Daxe then. That's very dangerous pass into Neymar. Megabit just timing his tackle perfectly, though, to win that ball back. And now the transition from defense to attack is something that Megabit is so good at as a player. And he's going to be looking to add another German title to the shelf at the moment. And it's looking like the shelf is looking pretty full at the moment, to be honest, Dan, after the last few weeks.
Yeah, of course, Dolan Mike winning last weekend. And funnily enough, Megabit would actually overtake Dolan Mike if he were to win this game in the Global Series rankings. For Daxe, however, he would sit just short of him, I believe, with a victory here. But either way, both of these players who are in 8th and 9th respectively have their chances to move up a little bit in those leaderboards.
Game's kind of slowed down a little bit since that frenetic start to the game where we had those 2 goals. Half-time is approaching here, and you can see Megabit still trying to keep that pressure on. Unfortunately, just slightly too much pressure from Raphael Varane in that position. And now there is a chance for PSG Daxe towards the end of this first half. The block comes in. Unless Megabit can get the ball upfield nice and quickly, which he's obviously trying to do, that might be the half-time whistle going. Yeah,
just needs to make sure every pass is going forwards now at this point. But a nice tackle there from Daxe just to round out this half at just 1-1. As you can see, the possession, it's not heavily in favour of either player, and it's not the same possession that we've seen from Daxe. Megabit's early domination certainly has counteracted that. But then as that first half went on, I feel like Daxe got a little bit more comfortable with how the game was going. He started to play it around the pitch a little bit more and started to just switch the ball right and left until he saw the opportunities arise.
I love what I saw from Megabit in that first half, and even the first few minutes as well, playing that high-pressure game. We talked about a lot of players and how they favoured that drop-back tactic and getting men in behind the ball, but Megabit's playing high pressure in this situation. You can see all of his players are trying to close down the space, close down the player with the ball, and just realising the type of player he's playing against and adjusting his in-game tactics to suit. And it has worked pretty effectively so far.
With one thing that I've said a lot in this tournament about Marcelo at left-back and how he is vulnerable to those headers, I've got to say a lot of attacks have actually come from Marcelo going forward. He's offered so much space out on that wing, and it's allowed that left winger, whether it be Neymar or Mbappe, whoever you're playing out there, just to push even further up the pitch and try and go for that through ball. And Marcelo has been in goal-scoring opportunities sometimes as well. He really is an addition to the team.
And here he is on the overlap here. He tries to whip that ball into the front post. Block comes in, though, from the defender, and now Megabit will have a set piece here from the corner. Whips it in, Cristiano Ronaldo's under it, and oh my word, of all of the goal scorers on the pitch, Sergio Ramos didn't take his chance earlier on, but his centre-back partner, Raphael Varane, puts Megabit into the lead.
It was a great leaping header from Cristiano Ronaldo, and then Megabit reacted well when he saw Varane was just there at that near post. And unfortunately, neither the defender or the goalkeeper could get anywhere near it. And Varane just hammers it home. And Megabit gets the advantage again. Now he just needs to hold tight at the back, stop this first attack, and just calm things down a little bit. Just appreciate this goal lead and try and nurture it.
So then Daxe was managed to answer back almost immediately when Megabit scored his first goal of this game to tie things up. Be interesting to see if he can answer back here as well. Neymar still has the ball here from the restart. Mbappe now twisting and turning. There's a little bit of space in the middle here for Hullet as well. Concentration, the name of the game here for Megabit in defence. Needs to make sure his players switching well, and that's a great ball out to invite Ramos forward now. Modric again to Kante. He's just waiting for that space. There's a little ball into Hullet here. Daxe has pulled him apart, and oh, is it going to cross the line? It is! Daxe pulls him apart like a cheap suit. And unfortunately for Megabit, his goalkeeper made the save, but it just popped up to the forehead of Ruud Hullet, and he's answered back again.
Some people can probably pull apart a cheap suit quite easily, like you would, Mark. I'm sure you just bulge out of it. However, for me, it might take a little bit more effort. And for Megabit, he put so much effort into trying to defend there. The keeper managed to get a hand to it, but Hullet had done so much already, it was just too threatening of an opportunity. And for all Megabit's hard work, it all gets undone by one attack from Daxe. He took his time, he didn't try and hit the ball straight up the pitch from kickoff. He played it back, he played it slowly, and he was rewarded for his twists and his turns, as you mentioned.
Ball's going to be queued up by Megabit here. I'd imagine it'll be a personnel change, if anything. Daxe gives the ball away here with Kante, and now Mbappe fires it forward, and this is what I was talking about. Megabit has the chance to go back into the lead, but he cannot take it. A huge save from De Gea there. Keeps the game tied up at 2-2.
And those 1v1 situations are so difficult to decide what you want to do. When you see the goalkeeper coming towards you, you're thinking, am I going to chip it? Do I try and touch it around him? Do I try and use a low-driven shot just to get it under him? Maybe a driven finesse shot to get it under him. In the end, Megabit has mistimed a shot there. I think he went for a low-driven finesse, but it wasn't able to creep under David De Gea. But he still gets a corner.
Managed to score from the last corner opportunity that he had as well. Modric now around the corner to Messi. Megabit looking dangerous, and Messi goes across goal. He missed the one-on-one, but the next time a chance came knocking, he took it with aplomb.
One hell of a finish as well. Low driven across goal. David De Gea just can't get to it. And Megabit does look dangerous from corners. He looks like he has a little spark from them. He has several ideas that he wants to try and put into practice. And he is rewarded for just taking it around and beating a couple of men there. And Daxe has to come back once again, and this is where we start to question the mentality of the players. How many times can they go behind before they finally let their heads drop?
Megabit just needs to defend. We've seen how dangerous the PSG's Daxe has been around the restart. This time he does manage to win the ball back, so concentration was good there, but just as I say that, Megabit guilty of giving the ball away again. And with 20 minutes left in this first leg, everything is poised still very beautifully on a knife edge. Megabit again wins the ball with his defenders here, and there's space out wide here for Lionel Messi, the goal scorer.
And De Bruyne is trying to join that attack. De Bruyne and Kante now on the pitch. That's strength and speed combining in the middle to try and make some sort of Megazord that's hopefully going to score a goal for Megabit as Ronaldo gets
he goes down.
poked in the eyes almost. I think it was just outside of the box, but Varane doing him dirty there. And we saw what Megabit was able to do from a free kick earlier on in the game. Can he do it again?
Big chance here for Megabit. You see the pause coming in here. Change of personnel again for Daxe. This is a big moment, I feel, in this game. This is where, if Megabit can convert this chance, he has that 2-goal lead. And with the way he's been playing, and the way that he has consistently created chances, if he can find a goal here from this set piece, he could well be on his way to being an Xbox champion. Ball laid off here to Neymar. Neymar buries it again! Left foot this time, right-hand corner. Big smile on Megabit's face. and I'm not surprised.
And he's taken full advantage of these set pieces. 4 set pieces, 4 goals for Megabit now. He has been in the training arena, he has been practicing, and he's now putting it into practice. It's absolutely incredible what he's done here.
And look at the focus on his face as well. He knows how important that goal is in the context of this Xbox final. It gives him that cushion that he needs. It gives him a chance to make a mistake here, Dan, at some point in this game.
However, it is another 2-goal lead. It is a 2-goal lead that Megabit has thrown away already in the Swiss stages. He said before, he had a chance to get a 3-goal lead and he threw it away and he was punished because of it. Now he'll know, he'll be thinking, I need that 3rd goal, I need that 3-goal cushion if I'm really gonna be able to take this and get to the cross-console final.
Messi on this right-hand side then for the German Megabit, coming forward, 4-2, the first leg at the moment. And he's looking for more. De Bruyne now, into Modric. This is a beautiful move here from Megabit. He goes across goal, but just drags it wide of the upright.
Oh, and it was such a chance too. The keeper had gone the complete wrong way. Megabit had absolutely manipulated the movement from Daxe there. But unfortunately, he couldn't finish the product. And that's the kind of chances that he's been talking about. Those opportunities to go 3 ahead in a game is where he really needs to shine and really put these games to bed. And that will just give Daxe that little bit of hope of being able to stay in. But now, as Daxe is behind, as he is chasing a game, will he open up a bit? Will he start to play more attacking football, less possession-based football, which is just going to play into Megabit's hands?
Here's Ronaldo then for Megabit. 86 minutes gone, there's only going to be a couple more chances to attack. The ball's going to fall here to Messi, he almost gets it back. Off of a combination of defenders there. But Daxe will keep the ball here. He has maybe 1, maybe 2 chances to go forward. And with how effective he has been in this tournament at finishing his chances, 1 or 2 chances is all he might need, Dan, to send this tie into the second leg all tied up. Ramos then down this right-hand side. Messi's in a little bit of space, just showed too much of that to Marcelo though. And I want to give so much praise to the way that Megabit has defended in this game. He has been phenomenal.
His interceptions have really been on point. He's completely cut out Dax's passing game by saying, if you want to pass it around, I'm going to make sure I'm sprinting with every centre midfielder that I have. And that's why Kante has been so huge here. 1 final ball, 1 final chance in this first leg for Megabit. As it goes out for a corner, it's a set piece. He's scored 4 set pieces already.
Can he find another goal here? Kante happily puts that ball back out off of the body of the defender. Another set piece here for Megabit.
He's dragged Ronaldo forward.
There's Ronaldo. It's back across goal. It's going to fall to Varane maybe, but no. Daxe manages to scrape that one away in a dangerous position. And Megabit, deep breath there. What a performance from him in our first leg.
I mean, considering how well we've seen Daxe play throughout this tournament, how much he's dominated and controlled games, Megabit really has just amped up the pressure and just made sure he stops that passing game from Daxe. He's not allowed him to play simple passes across the park. He's getting in his face and he's putting him really under the cosh. And Daxe is struggling a little bit because of that. However, I know that Daxe has it in his arsenal to change up his game plan. He's not just a one-dimensional player. He can definitely respond here.
Yeah, the thing for Daxe as well, he has to remember, he kind of has to refocus on how he conceded some of those goals. A lot of set pieces there. A lot of the free kicks, you know, there's not, in certain situations, there's not too much you can do if you don't read the play, for example, and you don't guess the right way. And Megabit took advantage of that. 4 set pieces. Both of Dax's goals, however, they came from open play. He did carve Megabit open. So he knows that he can create something. He's just got to maybe be a little bit more careful in and around his box.
And you can see that Daxe was trying to stop these goals from going in, obviously, but you can see he was moving Hullert, so almost using him as a second goalkeeper just to try and block that inevitable shot that was coming. And I don't even know, I thought that shot took a deflection, but actually it just sailed over the keeper. And thankfully Hullert was there to finish it off, but it was more set-piece specialist from Megabit as we got further into the game, which might be frustrating for Daxe, considering he is this possession-based player. But at the same time, he just has to refocus and just kind of not play too possession-based, but maybe go forward a little bit more. Maybe we'll see a tactical change here in this second leg mark. Maybe Daxe is going to go for something more attacking like a 4-2-2. Who knows?
2 goals the difference between these 2 players, and this was the big chance, I feel. This point in the game, if Megabit scored there, Dax's head really would have fallen, but Megabit just took advantage, and this was a great turn from Messi, and what a finish that was across goal, utilising that low-driven time finish there across goal. And again, Varane just getting a little bit too handsy there with Ronaldo, and it cost him twice in this game. Overcommitting to challenges, putting a little bit too much pressure on those players, giving away those free kicks, but all the credit in the world to the way that Megabit took those chances.
But Megabit did have more chances. He did have the opportunity to get that 3-goal lead. That right there is great defending. I mean, just that ball just going wide because that player had put too much pressure on Neymar. But Megabit will probably be thinking about that. I could have had that 3rd goal, especially considering he said that before this game in the Swiss round. I was 2-0 up. I had a chance to get a 3rd, and then I was punished. Daxe just destroyed me in the 2nd leg. Maybe this is flashbacks for him now. He's got that 2-goal lead. Is Daxe going to do more of the same, or can Megabit keep going at him here, keep that pressure on him?
It's really interesting as well how we talked about that 2-goal lead coming into this game and how it has changed, and those 2-goal leads haven't meant too much across the tournament in comparison to the eventual winners of these games. So I think Daxe needs to keep that in his head. He needs to know that he can come back from 2 goals. Megabit's also got to keep it in his head that 2 goals is not as much as a cushion sometimes as you think it is. It sounds phenomenal, 2 goals, and to some extent it is, but it's also one of those things where if you concede 1, the first thought that comes into your head is, don't throw this away, please, don't let me choke this.
It's so scary when there's only 1 goal in it in like the last 4, 3, 2, even 1 minute. It's still terrifying because if you make that one mistake and give the ball away, they have that opportunity to hit you right at the dying moments. And that's what can happen in a 2-goal cushion because just the 1 goal changes the complete dynamic of the game. And even for a possession-based player like Daxe, we saw when he played against Zidane, he was comfortable, he was absolutely cruising, he was sailing, he was 2-0 up. He gave 1 goal away in the last 15 minutes, and then suddenly he was under so much pressure from Zidane, and he almost lost that game. He was just, of course, he scraped through in the end despite dominating. So even your possession-based players can struggle in those scenarios, Mark.
Yeah, the last few minutes of these second legs are usually scary moments for one of the players, usually both of them. But here we go, second leg underway now. If you're just joining us, Megabit takes a 2-goal advantage into this second leg on aggregate. 4-2 the result of the first game. And it's going to be Daxe now who will be playing in the white kit in our second leg. Megabit will be playing in the green and blacks. And now Megabit, again, concentration. Going to be so vital for him, and again, he wins the ball back.
Worth reminding you at home that this is the furthest Daxe has got in a tournament during FIFA 19. And he, on the other side, Megabit has been here before, but he has the chance to do himself one better. We've seen several players already in FIFA 19 kind of go up the ranks from tournament to tournament. They get to a semi-final, then a final, then a cross-console final. Megabit really has a chance to join a list of the greats here if he were to take down Daxe. And Daxe would continue to be that nearly man that we talk about, tournament in, tournament out.
Here's the Frenchman then with a chance to attack at the defences of Megabit. Just waiting for those runs, biding his time once more. Now you're going to see him start to pop into life a little bit. Megabit just trying to hold his shape here, but that's a great little through ball. Modric inside the box. Varane had to get an important touch on that one because Mbappe was just waiting to finish off that chance.
Maybe Daxe can give a little bit of piece of his own medicine to Megabit here from the corner, from the set piece. But too many shirts in the way of R9 there, not able to get that shot away. And now it means Megabit can get back on the attack again. Megabit does look like he's playing slightly more defensive. His line doesn't seem to be as high. So maybe he's trying to absorb a little bit of pressure here, which is a very dangerous game plan at the 2-goal cushion that we talk about. But going forward, his pass and move game style is so good.
Yeah, those fullbacks are certainly getting forward as well and joining the attack and forcing Daxe to bring those wide cams back to just protect those areas of the pitch, to be honest with you. Megabit again, controlling the game here. Something that Daxe isn't too used to as a player. Pullet tries to fire that one around the corner, well defended by the Frenchman. Now he has the chance to break out of defence and start a counter-attack of his own.
Megabit just dragging Marcelo out to the left there, not allowing the easy through ball on the right-hand side for Daxe. So it means Daxe has to go back again and keep resetting. Megabit doing so well at cutting out these passing lanes.
Neymar then, beautiful little scoop turn. Here is R9. R9 goes outside of the right foot, strikes the crossbar there. That's the difference between a yellow and a green time finish sometimes. And now straight up the other end, unfortunately for Megabit. He's not sure what happened there. The pass was well over hit, and Daxe will get the ball back.
And it was a really good opportunity as well for Megabit. Straight away trying to hit Daxe on the counter-attack, and I feel like that might be the game plan here in this second leg for for Megabit. Just wait for Daxe to build up, wait for him to misplace one of those passes, and then just straight away hit it to one of those strikers who are set to stay forward. You can see they're just waiting near the halfway line, two of those strikers.
Great tackle, though.
And now they're going to be there to play that ball to.
Megabit showing such focus and concentration in defense, and look at him, he's so annoyed because he knows how hard he has just had to work to get that ball back. And then with one simple pass, one slight, we'll call it a brain fart, gives the ball away. And now he has to work so hard again. He's going to have to play the next 5 to 10 in-game minutes without the ball at his players' feet.
Modric lays it forward to Mbappe, who he gets tumbled over, which means Daxe is now going to have one of these dangerous free kick situations. Megabit has been the one who's laying it off. Daxe has a go to do it himself. It goes out to Mbappe, but great defense. Modric gets the ball, and it's fell to him. It's a little bit of lady luck, but boy, will Daxe take it to turn that 2-goal cushion into just a 1-goal nervous situation now for Megabit.
How everything has just changed with 1 goal. We talked about how dangerous these 2-goal leads are. You feel comfortable, everything's going your way. Then you concede 1, and you're like, oh no. And I think that's what's going through Megabit's mind right now. Luka Modric, he was the benefactor of a deflection falling his way from the block shot. Daxe put it away well, waited for the goalkeeper movement before sliding it in the back of the net. And now Megabit's going to get a little bit more sweaty than he was a minute ago. 4-3 on aggregate, he's only up by 1 now.
And sometimes you do just need a little bit of the rub of the green. A little bit of luck. It happens in real football as well. A slight deflection that lands at a player's feet, or a deflection that beats the goalkeeper who probably would have caught it anyway. Sometimes it happens and you just have to take full advantage of it and use it as a little bit of momentum. Maybe use it against a player who's probably going to be frustrated that they've conceded a goal in that manner.
Good tackle there from Daxe. He showed some good patience there, and Megabit looked like he wasn't sure if he wanted to commit forward to that quick passing or try and keep possession and run a few seconds off the clock. So interesting how I feel like Megabit would have gone straight forward at the start of this game. He would have looked to score, create an opportunity. But now those little seeds of doubt have just been planted. But what a tackle that was from Patrick Vieira. I'm not sure how long his legs are, but he used absolutely every single inch of them to make sure he got all the way around that player to win the ball.
I'm not sure if that was a tackle, if he was dancing the salsa. Something was very intriguing about those leg movements, but either way, he has managed to regain the ball here, and means Megabit can have a little bit of possession and just kind of calm things down a little bit and not be under the pressure of Daxe's possession game. And going forward, though, Megabit is still looking for those strikers making that run. Ronaldo through the middle every single time.
Space here for Neymar. Oh, and he's buried it again! Look at the relief on the face here of Megabit, Dan. That shows how much that goal means in the context of this game.
And forget Megabit, I'm going to start calling him Megatron, because the transformation we've seen throughout this tournament of a player who crumbles with those 2-goal leads to now just going back at his opponent and regaining that cushion he needed.
That is massive for Megabit. 2-goal advantage restored, and now with that clock dwindling down towards half-time, you can see the focus that's on his face now is kind of turned from sort of a happy focus into just determination. But Daxe going straight up the other end, unfortunately just caught offside. 2 goals for him to find if he wants to send this one just to extra time here.
There will be a minimum of 2
First half going to come to a close, and Megabit going to make sure the last attack is his as well. So ball goes forward now, but he gives it away.
Chance here.
Daxe has a chance to punish that.
On through the middle from one of Daxe's players, but just dwindles on it again, and Megabit's showing him no respect in and around the box. He's making those tackles, he's getting involved with the play, and he stopped that attack there, and only 1 shot on target there for Megabit, but it counted. That's the important thing.
You need to be clinical in those sort of situations, and Megabit has showed just that. I think that the main problem that some people have had facing up against Daxe in this tournament is because they might play drop back in their dynamic tactics, it is just going to allow Daxe to play that passing game. I don't know if Megabit is playing that or whether he is just dragging his players out with manual defending, but either way, the amount of pressure that is being put onto Daxe is making it very difficult for him to play his normal game.
And you can see there in the custom tactics, it's actually using that team press. So he's trying to make sure that he is closing the space down where he can. Megabit, very, very astute tactical gameplay from the German, and now he's looking to find another chance here. Fantastic quick pass in. Rudhulit unfortunately goes ice skating, and can't control his feet. He falls over at the completely wrong time for Megabit there. And Daxe now will have the chance to bring it away, but Modric now wins it back for Megabit once more.
And now my German's not too good, but I know full well what's going on in the brain of Megabit. It is, I need the third. I need a third goal here. I need that little bit of an advantage. It's another free kick again. It's not direct. He passed it to Ronaldo. But it's a comfortable one in the end for De Gea.
Very, very tame, that strike. And it's surprising considering we've seen him smashing 2 set pieces already in this Xbox Grand Final. Now Daxe is coming forward. Oh, Messi loses his feet there, but R9's going to collect the pieces. Kante now. Out to Marcelo. Neymar. Megabit trying to close down this space in and around his own box. Now the examination will come in from Daxe. The man from Paris Saint-Germain, he needs 2 goals here, Dan, as we approach this last 30 minutes of the second leg. He's just toying with Megabit's defence at the moment. Looking for that chance to strike it. Ronaldo takes it, and oh, it's just wide of the upright.
And Megabit just lets out the biggest sigh of relief. I almost heard it from here. As he takes a sip of water and is just going to now try and refocus. He knows he got away with it there. I feel like if that was a green from Daxe, that was probably in, and then we're back to that 1-goal game. As we're going to see now the changes of personnel. We're going to see a few new players, fresh legs introduced on the pitch. Megabit in particular, as he has been playing that team press, a lot of those players are going to be a little bit more fatigued. They're not going to have the stamina to stay on the pitch. So just need to bring on some people that are going to be more than happy to chase that ball like he so desperately needs.
Yeah, that's going to be the interesting thing here, especially with Daxe having the ability to bring on some fresh legs in those wide spaces. We've seen how impactful the likes of Mbappe coming on the bench are. The icons, Eusebio, Pele, getting in behind those fullback positions when the game is coming to its conclusion. But Megabit's looking to put this one to bed already. Mbappe fighting with Ferdinand, keeps possession of the ball. And now Daxe is the one who's having to apply pressure, and he wins the ball back.
Yeah, and we're going to see a very pinball-type game, I think, now as we close into the last 30 minutes. It's going to be Daxe starting to ramp up the speed a bit, trying to get up that pitch very quickly to try and get back into this tie, because he still needs 2 goals just to get to extra time. But Megabit again intercepting with Ronaldo of all people. He's brought him all the way back.
What a ball that was from Megabit. Unfortunately, Daxe managed to get a tackle in at the right time, and now that looks a little bit borderline as far as fouls are concerned from Daxe, but he's won the ball back. Megabit's queued up a pause. He's having some tactical thoughts of his own. But Daxe has only got one thing on his mind, and that's scoring goals. Messi now. R9, Cricketta, drops the shoulder, and oh, what a block that is from Varane.
And that's what Varane can do. That Team of the Year foot item is absolutely insane. I think it was Boras Legend last event who said it's the best centre-back he's ever used in any FIFA iteration. As Ronaldo's through,
oh,
this could be the final goal! And Megabit's done it! He's got that 3-goal cushion that he's been desperately searching for this whole tournament. And maybe it's enough to get him to that grand final versus Stefano Pina.
A big smile comes across his face. In that situation, he showed composure. He didn't get carried away with everything. He found the extra pass across goal. Marcelo, we talked about how he's had some defensive woes. The way that Megabit has used that foot item to get forward in this game has been a tactical masterclass. He's put Daxe onto the back foot, and now Marcelo gets on the score sheet himself.
And the body language has completely changed for Daxe now. Small shakes to the head, glancing around, because he knows now this is an extremely tough task. If it wasn't already difficult to grab 2 goals to get back into this, he now needs to find 3 just to equalise.
So then, Daxe, it's now or never if you want to call yourself an Xbox champion and find yourself a place in the cross-console final. Tries to maybe catch Megabit off guard there with a long-range finesse. There still is a bit of time for him to work with, though. There still is some time left in this game. He's got to be thinking there's enough time in the game for me to create enough chances to get back into this. What a block that is from Ramos. It's 1 from Varane. It's 1 from Ramos now. Daxe can't catch a break in those situations.
And you have to say a goal then would most likely have allowed time for Daxe to get back into things, and you've got to feel like if he can make it a one-goal game with 5 minutes left, there's always that little bit of hope. But he just needs to try and break down this wall that Megabit's been able to build.
Messi inside the box. Oh, what a save from De Gea. I'll add him to the list. Varane with the block, Ramos with the block, and a huge save from De Gea too.
And I think we're about to get a history lesson here, because I think this is going to be a bombardment from Daxe onto Megabit's goal, and Megabit is just going to have to stay in his castle, and he's going to have to hope that he can defend the ongoing rams that just going forward. It's going to be attack after attack after attack, but De Gea has put a blockade in the way, and he's barriered up that door, and he's not letting anyone in.
Daxe has been knocking. He's been doing everything in his power to try and get back into this game, but if it's not the centre-backs making a block, it's De Gea with the saves. Megabit finally has a little bit of respite here with just 10 minutes left on the clock, but he gives it away. And when there's still time, when the game is still alive, there's always a chance of getting back into it, but now Megabit moves the goalkeeper. And I think with that big smile on his face, he knows he's close to calling himself the Xbox champion here in London.
With this victory, Megabit would move himself up to 3rd in the Global Series rankings on the Xbox side, 1 point behind MS Dasari. And it looks like he is going to achieve that unless there's a twist in the tail, but it doesn't look like there will be, because De Gea has been absolute magic.
You have to worry for Daxe here. He's becoming the nearly man once again. It's not a tag you want. He's getting better every tournament though, and you just feel with the way that he's played here in London that at some point there's going to be a tournament win around the corner. He's shown how impressive a player he has been with the way he's played the game, with the chances that he's created in this game as well, and the resolve he's showing towards the end of this game. But here might be the cherry on top of the cake. He went for the El Tornado there. Megabit trying to finish things out in style. Ronaldo finds Modric, but Modric finds nothing but fresh air.
And we have to give respects to how well Daxe has done in this tournament, but it's Megabit who's going to be stealing the headlines, and he will be the one who has to represent the Xbox side of things to try and defend the Xbox title. Megabit's done it. He's searched for it for 4 tournaments. This is his 4th, and now he's finally got into that cross-console final.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Xbox champion here in London is that man on your screen. It's Megabit. He's finally done it.